Most people think financial freedom is just about making more money, but in reality, there are 7 very specific stages you have to move through before you ever really feel free with your finances. And the scary part is, most people are stuck in one of the early stages without even realizing it. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 stages of financial freedom, show you exactly where you are right now, and what you need to do to reach the next stage. Even if you're starting with debt, a low income, or zero investing experience. A few years ago, I honestly thought I was doing everything right with money, but I was still living paycheck to paycheck and constantly stressed about bills. I tried budgeting apps, side hustles, cutting expenses, and somehow I still felt stuck in the same place no matter how hard I worked. Eventually, I realized the problem wasn't how much I was earning. It was that I didn't understand the stage of money I was actually in. Once I learned how financial freedom really works, step by step, everything started to change. And because there's so much bad advice out there about money, I made this video to show you the exact stages, so you don't waste years making the same mistakes I did. Now that you understand why this matters, let me give you the big picture first. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 stages of financial freedom. Not 7 tips, not 7 hacks, 7 distinct stages that almost everyone moves through on the path to financial independence. And as we go through these, I want you to do one simple thing in your head. Try to notice which stage you're in right now. Because once you know your stage, the next step becomes a lot clearer. All right, let's start at the very beginning. Stage 1 is called dependency. This is where all of us start, whether we realize it or not. In this stage, your expenses are higher than your income. You're not fully supporting yourself yet. And for adults, this stage can feel, honestly, pretty uncomfortable. You might be thinking, how did I end up here? Why do I feel like I'm always behind? But this stage isn't about shame. It's about awareness. Because the first real step toward financial freedom is simply this: knowing where your money is actually going. Not to judge yourself, just to get clarity. You can't change what you don't measure. And here's something important. Almost everyone who ever becomes financially free passes through this stage. The only people who stay stuck here are the ones who avoid looking at the numbers. Now, once your income starts to cover your basic expenses, you can then proceed into stage 2. Stage 2 is called self-sufficiency. This is the point where you're no longer dependent on anyone else. You're paying your own bills. You're not relying on parents or assistants. You're keeping yourself afloat. But are you still living paycheck to paycheck? If so, you're probably in stage 2. You might still be in debt. You might not be saving yet. But the key difference is this: you are now in charge of your financial life. Financial experts often call this stage solvency. You're not building wealth yet, but you're surviving on your own. And this stage is more important than it sounds. Because for the first time, your financial future is directly connected to your decisions. Now you might be thinking, when do I finally start saving? That happens in stage 3. Stage 3 is called stability. This is the stage where something big finally changes. You break the paycheck to paycheck cycle. For the first time, you're actually able to save. And the very first goal in this stage is simple: build an emergency fund. Specifically, save your first $1,000. Not for investing, not for vacations, not for fun. This money is only for emergencies. Because emergencies are what keep people trapped in debt. And without savings, you go right back to credit cards. That's why this stage is so critical. This small emergency fund is what protects your progress. And once you have it, something powerful happens. You start to feel a little less stressed about money, a little more in control. But have you ever had to use a credit card for an emergency? If so, this stage is the one that changes that. Once your savings grow and your debt starts shrinking, you enter stage 4. Stage 4 is called security. This is where things really start to stabilize. Think about this for a second. If you lost your job tomorrow, how long could you survive without income? If the answer is 3 to 6 months, you're in stage 4. This is the stage where your money becomes a safety net. You're no longer constantly afraid of one bad month ruining you. And this is also where investing becomes more serious. Because now, you're not just protecting yourself, you're starting to build wealth. But here's where it gets interesting. Once your investments grow enough to start covering your basic living expenses, you enter stage 5. Stage 5 is called flexibility, and this is one of the most underrated stages. In this stage, your investments can cover most or all of your essential living costs. Financial advisors usually define this stage as having enough saved to cover 1 to 2 years of living expenses. And this stage completely changes how you experience work. Because now, you're not trapped. You finally have options. What would you do with 1 year of freedom? That's what this stage gives you. And for a lot of people, this is the first time they realize something important. Financial freedom isn't about being rich. It's about having choices. Now, if you keep investing and growing from here, you reach stage 6. Stage 6 is called financial independence. This is the stage most people think of when they hear the term. Your investments fully cover your lifestyle. You no longer need a job to pay your bills. You can work if you want to, not because you have to. And the exact number here is different for everyone. But the definition is simple. No matter what you need each month, your investments can pay for it. This is the point where you can technically retire. And for many people, just reaching this stage is the ultimate goal. But there's still one final stage. Stage 7 is called financial abundance. This is where you have more money than you will ever need. You're in the top 1%. And at this stage, money stops being about survival and starts being about impact, helping others, giving back, supporting causes you care about. This is where wealth becomes a tool for something bigger than yourself. Now, let me bring this full circle. Financial freedom is not one moment. It's a process. Most people never make it past the first few stages. Not because they can't, but because they never stop to ask, where am I right now? So here's the most important question in this entire video. Which stage are you in today? Because once you know your stage, your next step becomes obvious. And financial freedom stops feeling like a dream and starts feeling like a plan. At the start of this video, I promised to show you the 7 stages of financial freedom and help you understand where you are and what comes next. Now you know. You don't need to do everything at once. You only need to focus on one stage at a time. Progress, not perfection. Now, one thing I didn't realize for a long time is that lazy income only really works after you understand where you are financially. There are actually stages to financial freedom, and I made a full video breaking down the 7 stages and where passive income fits in each one. I'll link that here. If this video helped you understand your financial journey a little more clearly, subscribe for more videos like this one.